Create Art Podcast. Project NaPoWriMo, otherwise known as National Poetry Writing Month. Hello friends, this is Timothy Kimo Bryan, your head instigator for Create Art Podcast, where I bring my 20 plus years of experience in the arts and education world to help you tame your inner critic and create more than you consume. So this month is National Poetry Writing Month. Happens every April. And National Poetry Writing Month is known as NaPoWriMo, and it's a creative writing project. And what they do is they give you prompts. If you go to the NaPoWriMo website at NaPoWriMo.net, and they'll give you 30 prompts for the 30 days in April. Now, on the website, you can also interact with other people. This year is going to be different from the previous years that I've done this project. This year, I'm going to be writing poetry throughout the year, and I am following a different prompt than the one that the National Poetry Writing Month folks do. Now, I've been doing poetry since 1988. I know for a lot of people here, they're like, whoa, the 1900s. But I've been doing it for a long time. I've been writing poetry for a long time and performing my poetry. So this year, like I said, I'm going to be writing all throughout the year. And the blog that I'm using is called Think Written. And the links for that will be in the show notes. I'm also going to be performing these works at Katura Coffee House here in Fredericksburg, Virginia on their Friday night Snaps open mic poetry reading. You'll have a link for that again in the show notes. And a lot of people, they ask me, hey, Tim, why do you do this to yourself every year? And my answer to that is, if I'm going to ask you to be, taming your inner critic and creating things, then I need to be doing it too, right alongside you. So that's why this year I'm doing it a little bit different, but I will be interacting with the poets there on the NaPoWriMo site. And we'll see how this goes. I'm pretty excited to be doing it this way. Okay, so today's prompt is first car. Write an ode to your first car. So I'm titling this one, Old Baby Blue. You did run like a scolded dog. That Marine was right. To think I could have purchased my midlife crisis car with busted rings for the same price as you. I wouldn't have been able to sleep in that car, nor would I fall asleep at the wheel and safely get through Bloomington, Illinois, changing highways in the middle of the night. The stereo system I bought for you cost more than what you were worth, and you reminded me when it rained, and the DIY sunroof flooded and collected fish. I drove you to escape from where I was. I drove you to Texas to escape where I came from. I drove you until something flashier caught my eye. And then I sold you for a motorcycle, because I had only crashed 2 other motorcycles in my life. So that seemed like a fair trade. You never started up again. When all the paperwork was done and your new owner took possession, you refused to be traded away. And as I crashed another motorcycle, there you stood stoically in the parking lot, reminding me that I would still have transportation, hoping I would come to my senses and take you back. But no, I was young back then, and flashy new things, which was everything, took my attention away from you, and I bought a shiny new red compact car. It looked like a clown car when I stepped out of it, and the car drove me away from Texas, from you, from the memories we made. Sometimes I seek out your relatives. I look at what others have done with your kind. And I miss our days together. You protecting me fixing another alternator on you, changing your oil from inside the cab, hearing that 302 engine roar, wishing it was in a Mustang, but was resigned to hauling around my possessions. You were my first old baby blue, and I'll never forget your shag carpet interior, your tinted moon windows, the swiveling captain's chairs, and the fish tank turned sunroof. All right, so that was my poem for this day for National Poetry Writing Month. I hope you enjoyed it. You can go right to the website, createartpodcast.com, and you can go ahead and comment right there in the comment section if you like. Now, something I'd like to ask you is, if you enjoyed it, shoot me an email, timothy@createartpodcast.com. I want to hear about your journey, and I want to hear about what you're working on. And if you'd like to be on the show or, would like to discuss a topic that's giving you trouble, well, then go ahead and email me. Let's start that conversation. I also want to let you know about another podcast that I do, and that one is called Find a Podcast About, and that's where I help you find your next binge-worthy podcast and outsmart that algorithm. You can find that podcast at findapodcastabout.xyz. Last thing I'd like to say here is if you found value in the show, let me know. Pass it on to a friend. If you have ideas on what I could do better to make this a 5-star podcast, I want to hear about those too. I want to be helping you with your art, to be bold with your art, as I do it right beside you. I'll see you next time.